And now, making their way down the aisle, being led by their silent partner Paul, from the squared circle, they are the Rasslin Radio Tag Team Champions of the world, Carmela Panfil and Joel Goodhart.
All right, welcome to another Friday night edition of Rasslin Radio here on WDVT 900 AM. Our phone numbers for you to call in Pennsylvania, 238-3900, in New Jersey, 541-3900. And we're going to spend the next hour and a half talking to you about the world of professional wrestling.
Yeah, what a great show we're going to have tonight. We have no co-host tonight. We didn't ask the trivia question the way we were supposed to. We just ran out of time. These Friday nights are getting really, really hectic. But what we're going to do is have the people call in tonight with the answer to the trivia question. Our guest will be our guest on Sunday, only for this week because we didn't get a chance to ask last Friday. And then what we'll do is next Friday start the trivia questions over again. So the trivia question for this week is, we know that Buddy Rogers was world champion in the NWA and the WWF. However, everybody does not know that Buddy Rogers was champion in the NWA more than one time. We want to know how many times he was champion, and how did the other time or times happen?
And I'll tell you, where the screen is already flashing that we have a couple people with the right answer. And, of course, as we do always, we'll take the first one, and we'll get to those phone calls in a couple minutes. But maybe we ought to go over a couple things for the fans, some bits and pieces of news.
That's right. The important thing at this point is the Memphis trip. We can't talk enough about it. The Memphis trip is scheduled to leave Philadelphia on the 31st of July and to return on the 4th of August. The cost is $575 per person. And for those of you who listened last Sunday, we had given hotel accommodations. Those accommodations have been changed, upgraded, you might add, or we might add, to the Sheraton. We will be staying at all Sheratons throughout all of our stay down in Memphis. Jerry Lawler has also offered to autograph all the tapes in the possession of the Philadelphia people who will be going to Memphis. Therefore, the tapes that we have will be more valuable than the ones that the rest of the whole world has because they won't be autographed by the king.
That's right. And those who ordered the tapes, they are being shipped on Tuesday from Memphis. They're being shipped UPS, so you should have them by Friday of next week. And again, those tapes, if you go down to Memphis and take that tape down with you, will be a little bit more valuable than the others.
That's right. Now, we'll go into the itinerary and everything as we go on, but the important thing to remember here is now we're working on a Memphis video party. We've been saying it, and we've made our connections, and we're working on it. Now, the stipulation here is, though, it's a free video party. You don't have to bring anything but yourselves. However, it is by invitation only, and only the people who are going to be going to Memphis or seriously thinking of going to Memphis, like Scott out there looking at us in the window.
Scott will be there.
Okay. Only those of you who either are definitely already going or thinking of going will be invited to the video party so that you can get a preview of all the neat things that you're going to be seeing there. Now, we need to know this weekend exactly how many of you are going to be going to Memphis or seriously thinking of going. And also, we're sending out a mailer this week, as a matter of fact, kind of like our first big letter type thing. And it includes in there the itinerary for Memphis, all the information you could possibly need on the Memphis trip. For those of you who maybe can't get the radio show in, or you live too far away, or the signal's not that great, we're going to be sending that out this week. So please stay tuned and watch for your mailboxes. But make sure that you let us know if you really want to go to this Memphis video party, if you really want to go to Memphis. And there's one thing I keep wanting to say, and I can't think. You know how you're talking and all of a sudden you forget this last sentence you were going to say?
Yep.
Okay, what was my last sentence I was going to say?
I'll let you hang on.
Okay, no, I remember. You have to call us and let us know if you would prefer seeing this video party on an evening or a weekend. That's important.
Right. Right now, we're looking to have it either on a Sunday afternoon or Monday through Thursday evenings, but we certainly want everyone to be able to make it, so let us know your preference. We already asked Fred Lorino out here who's going, and he said anytime. So just let us know your preference because we want to make sure that the party is held at a time convenient for you. And we're going to go to the phones now. We'll talk a little bit about Memphis a little bit later on, and we go to South Philadelphia. Frank, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Yeah, the parade champions this year, Cousin Junior wrestled the grappler, came out with Hillbilly Jim's song. Is he allowed to do that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because apparently it's not. It might not be copyrighted at that point, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the wrestlers can use any song that they want, and there is absolutely no contract between the wrestler and the music.
Well, I asked last week Sunday, what happened to Kenny Lucas? Did you find out?
Ah, that's right. You're the one who asked for Kenny Lucas. No, I'm really sorry. I forgot totally all about it. Why don't you give me a call after the show or during the week, and I'll let you know, because I think Paul knows what happened to him.
Oh, well, I have a trivia question. Can I ask that?
Well, it's up to Joel.
Nope. When as I say all along, no trivia questions on Friday nights when I'm here.
Oh, well, the Blade Runners, you don't know their names, right?
Sure do, but we're not going to give them to you.
Okay.
All right?
Well, I know they used to be the Freedom Fighters before that.
Very good.
All righty?
Okay.
Very good. Thanks, Frank.
Sure.
Take care. And we go to Northeast Philadelphia. Michael.
I know!
I know, too. What's up?
Oh, sorry.
Hey, no problem.
I was talking to my parents.
Nah.
My friend wants to know why is Steamboat leaving.
Why is he leaving?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why Steamboat is leaving. It could be a controversial thing with the promoter. They could have had an argument. It could be money problems. He could have gotten a better offer someplace else. His wife could be pregnant, expecting a baby any day now. Could be any one of those things.
Where'd you hear that he was leaving?
My friend Sean.
Well, tell Sean that we told him on the radio last week that Steamboat will be out until the spring of 1988. But that doesn't mean he's leaving. He'll be back.
Okay, and my friend said that Brutus Beefcake is Hulk Hogan's brother.
Tell your friend he's dead wrong. Okay?
Okay.
You got it. And Jason in Cherry Hill, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Yeah, well, like you say about magazines, they're really bad. That's what you say, but, I buy them still. And,
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's your money.
And, they should know a little bit, but I was reading one article. They called Hulk Hogan a giant killer now because he beat Andre. And they said that Andre was undefeated for 22 years. Now, I don't know where they got that.
Well, that's your magazine for you.
And I heard that you're not allowed to ask trivia questions. I got the ultimate that not even James from West Philly can answer.
Well, I'll tell you what, call back next week when Carmela's on the desk and we'll take the question from you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
Bye.
We thank you. And we go to Tracy in Nicetown. You're on Rasslin Radio.
Good evening, guys. How's everyone?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, fine. First, I'd like to say Carmela. Carmela, you have my favorite name. I love your name because my grandmother's name is Kari, and my mother's name is Romella, and I put it together and I got Carmela, and when I'm expecting in a few months, and that's my little girl's name.
Oh, how nice. That's great. But listen, lower your radio a little bit because we can hear the feedback, okay?
Okay, and then I'd like to tell you that I saw WrestleMania for the first time about a month ago, and 3 friends and myself paid 50 cents apiece, and I must admit I wasn't as disappointed as you guys were. I mean, you probably paid $15, $20. I paid 50 cents, and
no, if you remember correctly, we were not disappointed. We actually said that the WrestleMania 3 was very good, and we didn't pay anything to see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, then
And I'll go one better for you. The tape of WrestleMania 3 is certainly a better tape than the Crockett Cup tape that Jim Crockett put out.
That's for sure.
All right, so no,
bad?
WrestleMania 3 turned out to be pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right. Then.
All right, we thank you.
Bye-bye.
All righty. All right, we're going to go to the answer to the trivia question, and our
Oh,
winner...
I can't believe somebody knew that.
Well, I'll tell you something. We've got 1, 2, 3 winners on the phone.
Well, you know what? It must have been all the people that came to our Buddy Rogers dinner because that's the only place that he really said it. And as a matter of fact, when we went up to get his car, I asked him again. I said, look, tell me if this is true here or not because we're going to use it as a trivia question. And that's good. It must be one of the people that were at the dinner.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And the winner of our trivia question is Dennis from Northeast Philadelphia. Dennis, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hello, Joel. Hello, Carmela. This is Dennis from Northeast Gloucester County.
Whoa.
Dennis!
I heard the trivia question. I have every right to call and answer it, and every right to be your host this Sunday.
That says Dennis from the Northeast, Dennis. I don't think that was very, very fair of you. You're not from the Northeast.
I was telling the truth.
Well, all right. Hopefully you'll have the wrong answer. Go ahead. What's the answer to the trivia question?
Has held it twice. He has beaten he beat the great Pat O'Connor for it, and there was another time he won it in a tournament.
Oh, damn.
All right. Well, but wait a minute now, Dennis. All right. Okay, the answer's right. I have to give you that much. But I still don't like the pretense that you came on the air. I mean, you're not from the Northeast, and I think that was very unfair that you're playing games like that.
Well, let me show you what a class act you have here. I called on the regular phones instead of the hotline to make it competitive and fair.
Yeah, you were the first one in here.
I had to call the first.
See, I should have hit Warren's button or Ian's button or Mike's button.
Tell the other two some other time, but of course you have the highest ratings of any show in Philadelphia. But with me being on there Sunday, can you imagine how high it will go now?
Oh, Dennis.
Well, I'm just glad I'm going to get drunk Saturday night because I'm going to have to.
Well, Joe, I hope you do have a hangover Sunday, and then that way me and Carmela can keep things under control.
All right.
Dennis, listen to me. Okay, we don't have any choices as against this as we really should be. You're going to be here Sunday as our co-host, but listen, before anything goes on, I mean, can we have your word that things will be under control here?
Very, very much under control, I promise you. You're going to see the new Dennis this Sunday.
Oh, the new Dennis?
That is correct.
Oh, I'm kind of glad of that because the old Dennis was something to leave to be desired.
He was good, too, but I'm just improving him.
All right, Dennis.
Thank you, people. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Goodbye.
Can you believe
Boy,
that?
I'll
I'll tell you
tell
something. Why don't we go to a break and we'll come back and hopefully our heads will be on straight. We'll be right back on Rasslin Radio. All right, we are back on Rasslin Radio here on WDVT. Again, our phone numbers, and I kind of wish that Dennis never learned how to read phone numbers, but in Pennsylvania, 238-3900, in New Jersey, 541-3900, and we're going to go right back to the phones. Maurice from Southwest Philadelphia, or Southwest Gloucester, whatever it might be. Maurice, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Oh, excuse me. I'd like to know that is Jake the Snake and Rick Root really brothers?
No.
No, they're not related at all.
Where'd you hear that?
No, some guy, he just told me this. And also, I want to know about the new breed. Are they really in a car accident?
Yep, we announced that on Friday evening. They're going to be out. We understand that Chris Champion is going to be out anywhere up to 6 months, and Sean Royal, I believe, was 2 to 3 months. Okay? All right, we thank you for calling. All right, we go to Dave in Gloucester.
Joe, how you doing?
All right, hold on 1 second. Carmela just pointed.
Okay, I just had a brainstorm, remember?
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's Chris Champion that broke his arm then. I had written down Todd Champion. That's why I didn't know. Couldn't explain how come Todd Champion broke his arm. It wasn't Todd, it was Chris Champion. Okay, now I know. Sorry about that, caller.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. Joe, last month I met you at the Civic Center. I told you my first time to the NWA.
Yeah, I remember.
Joe, I loved it. I went crazy when the Road Warriors and Dusty Rhodes came out.
Are you going back tomorrow night?
No, I can't tomorrow. I have other things to do.
Well, cancel the other things to do because I think you're going to see one heck of a card tomorrow night.
Yeah, but I tell you, after seeing, I still went to the WWF last week.
Right? How'd you like the comparison?
It wasn't none. NWA just, I just seen the NWA. There wasn't no more WWF to me.
Well, how about the Bash? You going to go to the Bash?
Yeah, probably will.
Great. Well, that's going to be a good show coming up. As a matter of fact, we were in touch with some of the promoters from this area, and they said that the Philadelphia Bash will definitely be worth its money.
And it's just going to be at the Vet?
No, it's going to be at the Civic Center.
Civic Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you, Joe, I really loved it. Now, I've never seen anybody as awesome as the Road Warriors in all my life.
Well, I'll tell you something. You'll find that on again, opinion here, but on most nights, the Civic Center card will be more exciting. The crowd more intense than at the Spectrum, and I think this past month really proved it. And I think tomorrow night versus last Saturday night at the Spectrum, I think Crockett's going to outdraw the Spectrum this month and certainly give you a better show. 4 title matches and then everything else.
Yeah, well, next month the crowd at the Spectrum wasn't too great, just the one-man gang who I like, UWF.
Well,
right.
I'm glad to hear your comparison, that's for sure.
But I tell you, after seeing the NWA, I tell you, I even took my wife at 5 months pregnant. She went crazy over Barry Windham.
Oh, see that?
Yeah, she loved that. She loved it.
Well, just watch her being pregnant,
Oh, well.
Okay.
Well, okay, have a good evening now.
Okay,
Wait,
thanks.
Dave. Take care. All right, and from Erie Avenue, we go to Lee. You're on Rasslin Radio.
Yo, what's happening, Joe?
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening, buddy?
All right, what's doing?
Joe, I got a problem here. I don't think the Civic Center gave us a decent match last week, but the match they're giving us this week, I think it's kind of corny. Because they ain't going to do as they did. Because Gorgeous Jimmy Garvey, he got a match with Flair, it's a title match, no disqualification.
Go ahead.
But he ain't going to take it. It's just a boring match, I think.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'll differ with you. I think you're going to see 4 title matches tomorrow night, and each one's better than the other one. All right, I think, the bottom line is you're going to see some action. Flair against Jimmy Garvin is a good match. I don't think Garvin's going to beat Flair. I don't care if it was a DQ match or not. You going tomorrow night?
Yeah.
All right, I think you'll see some action. You'll call us Sunday. Let us know.
All right, then.
All right?
All right, Joe.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. Northeast Philadelphia. Randy, you're on Rasslin Radio.
How you doing, Joe?
All righty.
All right, man. Whatever happened to Blackjack Mulligan now? He's gone from the WWF.
He's just gone. He right now isn't doing anything specific. What we understand is he's wrestling what we call independent, which means freelancing for other promoters. And at this point, he doesn't have anything specific set up. So, as soon as we hear anything on it, we'll let you know.
And Adrian Adonis, he's gone too?
Well, yeah, but there's again rumors that he'll be coming back. He kind of floats in and out, but kind of like after the way he's been in the WWF with the makeup and the dresses and the hair shaved and all that stuff, there's really not a lot of promoters now who will pick up that kind of scenario, that kind of image that he has, so he's almost stuck with the WWF.
But didn't you say he got fired?
Yes, he did, but he was fired once before and taken back, so I'm sure that it's quite possible for him to go back again.
Okay, and I think you're also going to see Blackjack Mulligan eventually wind up in the NWA. I mean, both his kids are there, so it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. You didn't find out what happened to the Midnight Rockers yet, did you?
They were fired, as we had said, after their first match, and the exact details we're not too sure of. They apparently was because of insubordination, and Vince McMahon is really cracking down on that a lot with his wrestlers. One of the few promoters that actually controls a lot of their personal lives as well. So they are no longer, to our knowledge, they're no longer in the WWF at all.
Wouldn't surprise me. They went out and wrestled, and McMahon said, "Oh, can't have any of that."
Yeah.
All righty?
All right, man.
All right, thanks for calling.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, we'll go to West Philadelphia. Lisa.
Hi, I would like to know, is the Road Warriors really brothers?
No.
Where'd you hear that?
Down the Vine. I just heard that.
Well, he's wrong.
No, they call themselves Wrestling Brothers. You know how they just call themselves brothers, but they're not related by blood or anything like that.
Well, are the Russians really Russians?
Are the Road Warriors really Road Warriors?
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, that was a good answer. Yeah. All right, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
All right, we go to South Philadelphia, and Billy, you're on Rasslin Radio.
How you doing, Joel?
All righty.
How you doing, Carmela?
Hi, Billy. How you doing?
Okay, I'm getting along.
Good. What's up?
All right, when they ask you, where is Buddy Jack Roberts of the Freebirds? He hasn't been showing up.
Good question.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's in Japan at this time, but he'll be coming back to Crockett for the Bashes.
He's going to be coming back?
He should be, yeah.
Okay. Did you see that, the card on ESPN today?
Nope.
No, what was it?
Good world-class matches.
Yeah? Well, see, World Class is starting to pick up, it seems. They've gotten a new booker now. They've gotten some new backers. They've gotten some new promotions going on, and it seems as though their final fall may be delayed a little bit, or maybe completely gotten rid of.
Is the quality of the TV program much better now that they have that new producer?
Yeah, they showed that six-man scaffold match.
Right.
From the David Von Erich thing.
Did you tape it?
Yeah, I got it on tape.
Hey, we'd love to see it.
All right.
Okay.
Two other good matches on there.
Super. Thanks a lot for calling.
One more thing, Joel.
Yeah.
I've been checking NWA records of past champions from the 1800s. I see nothing about Buddy Rogers, two-time champion.
Okay, now you have to understand something. You weren't at the dinner, right?
No.
All right. See, I'm going to smack you when I see you now because you didn't go to the dinner. Anyway, Buddy explained that the night of, the day rather, of the dinner. It's a long story, and we can go into it another time. But anyway, there was a split up a long time ago with a couple of promoters, where the NWA and WWF were at one time one organization. There was a split up. Sam Munchnick and I forget the other guy's name. Anyway, had a split up. They automatically divided belts. At that point, Buddy Rogers had won the belt in a tournament. That, to our knowledge, was not really recorded in any kind of a recognized event book or that type of thing. Anyway, then as time went on, the belt had changed hands or was recreated, and that's when he got it so that everybody knows it. But he did, in fact, hold the recognized NWA belt 2 times, and we got that from the horse's mouth. As a matter of fact, we were up his house, and he actually has pictures of both times framed and everything all over his house. But yes, it did happen, definitely.
I'm going to have to put that under protest.
Oh, all right. Put it under protest. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll write a letter to Buddy Rogers, who's now in Florida, and I'll have him send it back, right back to us, or call in one day and explain it word for word to everybody, but it is a true fact.
Okay?
All right.
Right, thank you, Billy. Right, take care.
Okay.
All right, you're listening to Rasslin Radio, and we'll be right back.
8 action-packed matches have been scheduled for the return of exciting NWA Championship Wrestling to the Philadelphia Civic Center tomorrow night at 8:30, featuring Thunderfoot 1 and 2, Bullet Bomb Armstrong. In singles action, Vladimir Pietrov goes against Kendall Windham. Then Barry Windham takes on Ivan Koloff. In a 2 out of 3 falls battle for the world's tag team titles, the exciting champions, the Rock and Roll Express, defend their titles against the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette. Nikita Koloff defends his U.S. title against tough Lex Luger. In a wild one-fall Texas death match, it will be Tully Blanchard with James J. Dillon battling the American Dream Dusty Rhodes with Magnum TA in his corner. Plus, in a free-swinging, no disqualification return match, Nature Boy Ric Flair puts his World's Heavyweight Championship on the line against gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious. That's tomorrow night, June 27th at 8:30. NWA Championship Wrestling returns to the Philadelphia Civic Center.
And I know we're going to see a lot of our Rasslin Radio fans down at the Civic Center tomorrow night. I think you're going to see a good card. Mike from Northeast Philadelphia has been waiting. Mike, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Yeah, I got a couple things I got to say.
Shoot.
I was wondering, could you tell me where Piper's at? I heard that he was down in the South somewhere.
No, Piper at this time was helping us. See, Piper originally started out in the Oregon promotion with Mr. Owens. I always forget his first name.
Owens.
Don Owens, okay. And he always swore that he was going to help him if he ever needed it and that type of thing. And he also said that he would never wrestle against him in that area. So now that he's not with Titan anymore, his contract will not allow him to wrestle for anybody until September. But he did go up to Oregon to help out Mr. Owens, and he did some commentary, and he did a couple of interviews and that type of thing. And from what we understand, he's doing that and he's doing some independent stuff. But he is definitely doing stuff all over the place. He's just not wrestling at this time.
Yeah, all right. And I was wondering, the NWA guys, they're wrestling on the UWF show, but I don't see no UWF people wrestling on the NWA show.
I think you're going to see it at the bashes, and again, more times than not, the NWA guys are going to the UWF show to kind of boost their ratings rather than the UWF guys boosting the NWA ratings.
Yeah, all
okay?
Right. Okay, thanks.
Thanks for calling. And we go to Germantown in Vernon. You're on Rasslin Radio.
Yes, I'd like to know, how do you feel about the situation in which they're trying to do to the Florida and Southern belt?
Which is?
All right, so Oliver Humperdinck actually won the Florida belt. And he gave some crack-wise excuse saying he didn't want to wrestle, so he gave it to Ed Gattner. Now, Mike Rotunda defeated Ed Gattner some time ago, but now they're going back to the rules saying Oliver couldn't hand the belt over to Gattner, and now they're going to try to unify the Florida belt and the Southern belt, meaning Rotunda has to give it up. I think that's really unfair. It was an issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the August issue.
Well, it sounds pretty unfair, and I think there might be a little bit more to it than that. As far as they're changing their rules midstream, it's like changing horses midstream. I don't agree with that at all. If those were the rules, those should have been the rules from the onset. Again, you kind of brought in a new situation that I was not familiar with. I don't know if Joel is.
Well, the fact that the magazine said it, I don't take it as 100% true. We'll have to check it out, and we'll talk about it maybe Sunday.
Okay, I have a trivia question.
No trivia questions while I'm on the console here.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. All right, we only have a couple minutes left in this half hour. Again, during the 7 o'clock hour, we'll have a whole lot more. Ian from Camden, James from West Philly, Brian from Glenolden, Kevin from the Southwest, George from Atco, Bert from North Philly. You'll hold on until after the hour, and we'll get to your phone calls. And again, our phone numbers during the week. If you need to reach us regarding the Memphis trip, the videotape party, anything regarding the Great American Bash coming to Philly on July 25th, the phone number is 671-9712-745-8315.
That's right, and don't forget our Squared Circle locations. They are Champs in Kensington, the Golden Dragon at the I-95 Marketplace, and Sporting Goods Place, Inc. at Drexel Hill, and they'll all be carrying our new products.
Yeah, and we got all kinds of new stuff coming out. We're going to talk next hour about the Road Warrior T-shirts, the Four Horsemen T-shirts, the Slick Rick T-shirts, the Nikita Koloff T-shirts, and we have some stuff coming in from the WWF as well, and they'll be all at the Squared Circle locations near you. Again, if you want to write us, it's the Squared Circle, P.O. Box 4736, Philadelphia 19134, and we'll talk about the fan club also in the next hour. And again, Dominic from South Philly, Bert from North Philly, George from Atco, Kevin from Southwest, Brian from Glenolden, James from West Philly, and Ian from Camden. We'll be back to you next hour, and all I can tell you, Carmela, next hour is going to be as much fun, and we're going to do Wrestler of the Week again.
That's right. We finally get to do Wrestler of the Week. It's going to be Jerry Lawler this week because we're really getting into Memphis, and we're WDVT, Philadelphia.
Your talk station is now on the air every night until 8 p.m. We're Talk 900.
And now, making their way down the aisle, being led by their silent partner Paul. From the squared circle, they are the Rasslin Radio Tag Team Champions of the world, Carmela Panfil and Joel Goodhart.
All right, welcome back to another hour of Rasslin Radio number 2, our Friday night edition. Again, our phone numbers here in Pennsylvania, 238-3900, in New Jersey, 541-3900.
Okay, we have an action-packed hour. We're going to go into the Memphis itinerary a little bit later on in this hour. Please make sure you have a pen and pencil, because this is going to be a pen and pencil, pen and paper.
You just sound like Jim Ross when you said that, in this hour. He does everything about in this hour. Yeah.
In this hour. Okay, it's going to be terrific. We have some terrific news coming up. Things are going very well here, and we're also going to have a Memphis video party, and more on that a little bit later on.
All right, we're going to go right to the phones as we try to do on Friday night. We go to Atco, New Jersey. George. So, George.
Oh, hello.
How are you, George?
All right, sir.
All right, what can we do for you?
Yes, I want to know about the results from Nassau last night.
We don't have them at this time. We'll see if we can get them for you for Sunday.
Okay, and another question that I was quizzing my friend on. He says that Bob Backlund lost his WWF title in the Spectrum.
No.
Wrong.
Yeah, I know he's wrong. He lost it in Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
Well, you know what you do? You make a bet with your friend for like $10, 10-1.
Yeah, I had bought a book too. At Heroes and Villains. It has that under the Sheik's name.
Yeah, go make a bet with him and then prove it.
I'll probably win too.
Hey, no, I can't do that. Alrighty, thanks for calling.
Okay, thank
you. Right, George, take care. And we go to Glen Olden, and Brian, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hello, Joel.
How you doing?
Okay. First, I just wanted to say that there's a new organization called Glow Must Go. And it's headed by Les Morgan and myself.
Okay.
And anybody that could call 57 or write letters, we'd appreciate it, because we're trying to get the NWF on TV there.
Okay.
And second of all, I got an answer for anybody that has a debate about the NWA and the WWF.
Go ahead.
NWF.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because I think, how many times we've seen Flair and Dusty for like 10 years, and Tully and Dusty are going at it tomorrow night again, and they've been fighting for 5 years.
Well, maybe it's because they have the quality of wrestlers that can sustain a battle for 5 or 10 years.
Well, look at Dusty. You think he can sustain battles for 5 or 10 years?
He still packs them in.
Yes, definitely, 100%. I'm not Dusty's biggest fan, by no means. But giving credit where credit is due, he can pack a house, he can put on a good show, a good wrestling match, and he can go for the endurance.
In fact, I'll go one better. Name me a wrestler name me 5 wrestlers that work full time for the NWF.
DC Drake.
What's one?
Jules Strongbow.
Full time. He works nowhere else but NWF.
That's right.
Wrong. Keep going. Well, maybe if...
No, I got one.
Guess what, Brian?
Sheik El-Shad.
Yeah, he works independent cards as well.
He does?
Yes, he does.
Well, they still got DC Drake. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. All right, Brian. We thank you for calling.
Okay.
All right. So, in other words, if you're going to compare the NWA to the WWF, what you should do is not compare the two, because the NWF's got DC Drake.
DC Drake, yeah.
Huh.
Who bites tails and then comes out and says hello to the fans with a suit and tie.
I think the bottom line with the NWF, it's a good organization. They're certainly trying, and we're trying to be supportive of what they're doing. They're based out of Camden. They're a local organization, and we're working with them to bring on more wrestling cards in the area. But I don't think you can compare them yet to the NWA and WWF. And if you ask DC and Damien, they'll tell you, don't compare the NWF
That's
to
right.
those two.
And not only that, another bit of credit to give the NWF, which is something that none of the other alliances are doing, is they're really giving the young, up-and-coming wrestlers a chance to prove themselves. And they're taking a risk. They're taking a chance on these young people that are just coming up that nobody knows, hoping that the people will like them enough to help them produce a name for themselves. And I give them credit for that, if nothing else.
Oh, yeah,
But, they're really trying.
And most people don't understand the kind of financial hazard that takes. But the bottom line is that they do bring the young guys out. The shows in Bricktown proved it. I think they were entertaining.
Yeah,
I think
were.
The people that went to Bricktown had a good time, but you still can't compare the two. And I think that's doing a disservice to the NWF.
Yeah.
All right, we go to Southwest Philly. Kevin, you're on Rasslin Radio.
How you guys feeling, mate?
All righty, how you doing?
Fine.
What's up?
I have a question about Barry Windham.
What?
What's his role in the Great American Bash, if any, this year?
Pardon me?
Does he have any feuds going? Because,
Yeah, Barry Windham is feuding with Big Bubba for the UWF belt. And we hopefully will have more about that on Sunday. But that's basically the role that Barry Windham's been playing, and that's the feuds that he's been going with. Plus, he's training his brother.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, we thank you. North Philly, and Bert, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Well, hi, Joe.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'd like to know, where are the Road Warriors?
Right now?
Yeah.
In Japan.
Actually, at this very second, they're probably having breakfast.
Oh. All right. In the bash, will the Road Warriors get a match against the Rock and Roll Express?
Probably not. The Road Warriors are doing a lot of single action. Matter of fact, for one of the bashes, Animal's going against Arn in a taped fist match. Another bash, Hawk is going against Ric Flair. So they're going to be doing a lot of single events throughout the bashes. But no, I don't see them going against Rock and Roll Express.
You know, and if you want to hear one of my biggest gripes, why is it that every summer Hawk gets a shot against Flair and Animal gets a shot against Flair, but the rest of the year they don't cut it? All righty?
All right.
We thank you for calling.
Okay.
All right, we go to Logan. Jonathan, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hello, I would like to know if Chris Champion and Todd Champion are related.
No.
Nope.
And also, oh wow, I forgot.
All right, well, give us a call back.
Okay.
All righty.
Yeah,
and
he's getting like me.
we go to Clementon and John. You're on Rasslin Radio.
Good evening.
All righty.
How are you?
All righty. How's everything by you?
Fabulous.
What's happening in Clementon tonight?
Not much.
Nothing ever happens in Clementon. Go ahead.
Hey, now that's not. I got two things to ask you. First of all, how come NWA doesn't promote shows up in New York?
Good question. New York is basically monopolized at this time by Titan and Vince McMahon, but they will be coming into the area. There was just this giant lawsuit that Crockett had with Titan because they were trying to monopolize arenas in the East Coast, and that was won by the NWA. So I'm sure you'll be seeing something of the NWA coming up in the New York area. The NWA has done some shows in the New York area, not in the mainstream, however, on the kind of like on the sidelines.
Yeah, I kind of remember a couple of years ago they had a show with the AWA up in the Meadowlands.
Well, yeah, we saw a show out in Staten Island as well that the NWA did.
Okay. The other question I have is similar to what someone else called up about, getting glow off of TV. The only thing I was wondering if all the Wrestling Radio listeners could call 57 and get it off, and maybe we can get Pro Wrestling This Week on.
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, in terms of glow, it is going to be very difficult for anyone to convince 57 to take glow off because the ratings are as high, if not higher, than the other promotions. All right, so the bottom line is that more people are watching that show, and forget Philadelphia for a second, Los Angeles, they beat the WWF head on. So it's the number of people watching it. The advertisers would buy the time, and it's not the people watching it. All right, so you got enough people watching it. You know, the guys that are trying to get glow off the air are going to be barking up a wrong tree.
Yeah, well, I didn't really mean to get glow off, but mainly to get that other show on. Have you ever seen Pro Wrestling This Week?
Yes.
Is it a good show?
It's an excellent show. They try to do on television what we do on radio. But again, they need to get the sponsors and the advertisers, which for whatever reason they're not getting in this area.
Okay. Thanks
All right.
a lot.
We thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
All righty. And Milton in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, Joel, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Two things. Number one, in the magazines, okay, they have Fritz von Erich as Jack Atkinson.
Right.
Okay. Now, when Mike and David von Erich died, who were they really? You know, who are they really? Are their real names Kerry, David, Mike, and so forth and so on?
Yeah, those are their real names. Obviously, their last name is not Von Erich. Those are their real first names, and Fritz von Erich is their real father, to the best of our knowledge.
Okay, and number two, okay, I've been listening to your program for many, many months, okay, and, you know, you're always putting down the WWF, you know, Titan Sports, Vince McMahon, and so forth and so on.
Not always.
Well, most of the time.
Okay.
Okay, now, the last maybe 2-3 weeks at the very most, your radio program has been kind of low. Okay, you know, you got, like last week, for example, you had on these two lawyers, okay, and I really think that kind of brought the radio program down, okay. You also have this guy that called, you know, who answered your trivia question tonight, okay. To me, it sounds like you're trying to go the same way as Vince McMahon is, okay? I think, you know, if you're going to have a program, you should have a program that is going to be an asset to the fans not make a mockery out of wrestling?
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
All right. Number one, how did you call the radio show today?
Okay, so far...
No, how did you call the radio show today? You dialed the phone number.
Yes.
541-3900.
No.
Or 238-3900?
238-3900.
Okay, unfortunately, Dennis did the same thing you did. All right, that's number one. All right, you got through, and obviously so did he, and I'm not too excited about him getting through. In fact, I'm not too excited about you getting through based on your comments. All right, number...
Wait,
yeah.
Wait a second. First of all, Joel, okay, I'm not this guy, Dennis, or whatever his name is, okay? I happen to be a very, very avid wrestling fan, okay? And I would bet almost anything that I am probably a better wrestling fan than Dennis or than any of your so-called regular listeners.
Well,
wait a minute now. How do you base that decision that makes you a better wrestling fan than any of the listeners?
Well, okay, what I'm talking about is, okay, number one, I've been listening to wrestling for a long, long time, and I've been going to wrestling for a long, long time.
All right, now how long is a long time?
I've been going to wrestling since around 1959, 1960.
All right.
Okay.
All right, now the three of us, between Paul, Carmela, and myself, we have about 80 years, 75 years of going to wrestling matches.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right, now, that still doesn't tell me on what basis you're putting your facts. I mean, fine, you've been going wrestling all this time, you've been watching it for all this time, that's terrific. But how do you know that you're a better wrestling fan than all of our listeners? I don't understand that.
Okay, what I mean is, what I'm saying is this, that I'll admit I am not the ultimate wrestling fan.
Nobody is.
And I did not mean to imply that your other listeners aren't as well read on wrestling that I am. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that my wrestling knowledge, I think, is as well as anyone's. Okay, it's just that I believe, that if you're going to talk, if people are going to talk about wrestling, it should be on wrestling. You shouldn't have all these little tidbits, like what you and Joel have, like with these arguments with these lawyers, okay?
Well, first of all, what we're trying to do, since you're such an avid wrestling fan, do you belong to the fan club?
No, I do not.
All right, therefore, to me, you're not a wrestling fan. Anyway, all right, because if you came and met a meeting of our 400 wrestling fans, I think you'd place 401 out of 400, okay? All right, so don't start jumping on how much you know about wrestling, because I think you couldn't cut it when you talk to the James of West Phillies and the Marks from the Cherry Hill and the Brian from the Glen Oldens, all right, and the Dawns from Pennsville, and I can go on and on. The Bev and Chris's from out in Jersey somewhere. We can go on and on and on and on and on. You'd rank 401 out of 400. All right, so that's number one. Until you join the fan club, don't even pretend that you know wrestling.
And not only that, okay, but when you sit down, first of all, what organization do you like the best?
Okay, all right.
He likes Glow.
I happen to like the WWF.
All right, let me just say this then, okay? Yes. You happen to like the WWF. You like the WWF for the same exact things that you are accusing us here of doing, of having hype, of having lawyers and having this and having that. At least what we are doing here is true. This Dennis and the people who have been calling here and the lawyers and all that, see, you're not involved in our wrestling group, so therefore you're not really up on what's going on. But these people were actually the lawyer and actually the argument starter in Memphis. There was a big deal out in Memphis because of these people, and they are from this area. But now with us going back out there again, Dennis Caralusa decided to jump on the bandwagon and recreate a lot of old problems because he wants to impress the Philadelphia people.
Well,
now, Jerry Lawler has already heard all this. Now, wait a minute.
Okay.
Jerry Lawler has already heard all of this, and he's very angry about the whole thing. But you got to understand this. This doesn't stop here. We're all going to Memphis to see what happens. And I'll tell you one thing you'll never hear on Rasslin Radio is a dog barking during an interview.
See, the only thing, what I don't like about Dennis, is that he's, when the way he comes on the phone, he comes on so cocky.
Well, wait a second.
But Joel's cocky all the time.
First of all, number one, why do you like the WWF?
Okay, the reason why I like the WWF is because I happen to like, like when I watch on USA, I happen to like the wrestling, where they have on like Bobby the Brain Heenan, and they have on.
You like all the jokes and all the hypes and all the ha-has.
Well, you said you were a wrestling fan.
Yes.
What wrestling do you like?
Especially in WWF.
What wrestling do you like?
Oh, okay, all right. I happen to like. Okay. Occasionally, I get together with some of my friends from years back, and we have like from what we've taken films, from like when we used to go to the wrestling.
I'm going to ask you the question again.
Yeah.
What wrestling do you like?
How do you mean?
Wrestling. Bobby Heenan doesn't wrestle.
Oh, okay, all right. I happen to like Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan is a wrestler. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, I think we kind of solved that whole argument.
That rests our case. That's it, buddy.
Because he's the only person that pinned Andre the Giant.
Oh, please, wait a minute. Oh, wait, now let me answer this one. Excuse me, sir. Let's talk about professional wrestling here for 25 years. Let's talk about Harley Race pinning Andre the Giant with no problem at all. Let's talk about Carmela pinning Andre the Giant. Let's talk about Jimmy Snuka pinning Andre the Giant. Let's talk about a lot of the other people who have pinned Andre the Giant, picked him up and thrown him around like he was nothing at all. Let's not just say that Hulk Hogan is the only one.
There are 11 wrestlers who have pinned Andre before Hogan, including Mil Mascaris, who's 1/3 the size of Hogan.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Let me tell you, can I just...
Wait a second.
No, wait, I want to say something.
No,
I got proof. I was there. Wait.
Wait a second. Ask him. He knows more than anybody else in the club. Ask him.
No, wait a minute.
Where did it happen?
Okay, wait a minute. April 24th, okay? No, April 17th, I'm sorry, 1983. I was on my honeymoon in Oklahoma, okay? In Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I saw Kamala pin Andre the Giant. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, now, Milton, if you're such a super wrestling fan, how can you waste our listeners' time with these stupid accusations when you don't even know what the heck you're talking about? All right, my suggestion to you is join the fan club, meet the 400 people and plus who are members of our fan club, and get to learn what wrestling's really about, and then you'll see how inadequate you really are. How's that one?
All right, perhaps.
Join the fan club.
Okay.
All right, and then you'll see what we're talking about.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, take care.
Right.
All righty. All right, I'll tell you what, we'll be back in just a minute. All right, welcome back to Rasslin Radio. And again, and if you want to give us a call and, kind of give us a conversation like we had with Milt in Pennsylvania, 238-3900. In New Jersey, 541-3900. And we're going to go to North Philadelphia. And, Bob, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hello there. About the third week I've been listening. A friend of mine told me about it. And
friends like that, you gotta keep them.
Yeah, that's my buddy. Couple questions. Who remembers Bobby Shane and Bo James and Pac Song from the old NWA wrestling?
I do.
Remember those guys? Those were the best shows on Wednesday night at 11:30.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and they don't even have the, Florida wrestling, presented like that no more.
No.
It was the best. I saw Jimmy Snuka flip Andre the Giant over the top rope with one arm for that guy who just called.
There you go. See?
So
where were you when we needed you?
I was listening. I don't know how he claims Hulk Hogan is a wrestler.
Well,
but
they don't remember it like we do, huh?
See, I'm talking, how long was it since NWA's been on like that on Wednesday night?
I'll tell you what, I'll go one better for you. Last night, Rocky 3 was on, and there's where Hogan looked good. And he became.
I haven't even seen it.
I'll tell you, he looks fat now.
You know we were watching during Rocky 3 last night? Memphis tapes.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that lady. I might sound dumb and from another planet, but, what is this Memphis thing, as far as is wrestling that's presented on TV or something?
All right, well, look, we'll go into a little bit, but then we'll take you off the air and we'll go into the itinerary and everything, and you'll just listen.
I have an old tape of how you would,
Okay.
I wonder if Milt thinks that we put you up to this phone call.
No.
Okay.
It's my first time calling. He's not a wrestling fan. I don't know.
Okay, well, look, what we're pushing about Memphis, I've been a Memphis follower for years and years and years, and I kind of never wanted to say anything too much about it because, everybody used to say, oh, Memphis. See, a lot of people, if they don't know that this particular wrestling exists, like Central States and Alabama and Australia and all that stuff, they have a tendency not to even want to be bothered with it. And I kind of always, Memphis. We have like 200 Memphis tapes at home, and finally, we started talking about Memphis, and a couple people got together and called up and said, hey, they got some good stuff going on from listening to the radio show. So we decided to put together a trip. Now, the way we describe Memphis is that Memphis takes whatever hype and entertainment they can find and puts it together with terrific fantastic wrestling. So you take like what you might get in a WWF match, which is the entertainment part, the dress and the animals into the ring or that type of thing, but then you mix it with NWA type professional wrestling, and that, in my opinion, is one of the ultimate kinds of wrestling because you have both of the best, or the best of both worlds, in one event. Like they just had a double scaffold match where they had Jerry Lawler against Austin Idol and Bill Dundee against Tommy Rich, or vice versa, or whatever it was. But we don't have the results of that yet. But what they do, and see, their wrestling is on every single Monday night. So this organization has to be creative as all get out because every single Monday night they do something different. And a lot of it is non-repetitious, which is terrific because they come out with some real neat stuff. And the people that have always been up our house to see the tapes have been convinced, and that's how we got a lot of the people to go to Memphis because they finally got to see what it was all about. Just like Japan wrestling. If we could put together a trip to Japan, I'd love to go there too because Japanese wrestling, in my opinion, is the best. So now you know what Memphis is all about.
You're talking about Japanese. What about Pak Song? What happened? Oh, he was a giant Korean.
Yes, he was. Pak Song was very good in his time. I don't know what happened to him, though, now. I'd like to try and find out, too.
Him and, what was it, one day, Joe LeDuc, they used to have some classic brawls, I remember.
That's right, and Joe LeDuc was out in Memphis, and him and Jerry Lawler have had some classic, terrific matches. And Joe LeDuc is one man not to reckon with. That man is incredibly strong any way you look at it.
I saw him knee drop King Curtis with one arm on a Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah, that man is tough.
He's capable. And in fact, you also mentioned Bobby Shane. Carmela told me during the message, Bobby Shane was killed in a plane accident.
Yeah. Remember, he was the one who had the what was brace on his knee, and they always used to run Paul Jones' head into him.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, he was in that in the plane crash. Also, was Austin Idol, and he had both of his legs were broken and his feet were badly injured. They thought he was never going to wrestle again. Right. Bobby Shane died. Buddy Colt was in that airplane crash as well, and his back was all messed up real badly. So now he's doing color commentary because he never could get back into the ring again.
Hey, Bob.
Was King Curtis's manager?
Pardon me?
Buddy Colt used to be King Curtis.
That's right.
A while ago.
See, now you sound like a wrestling fan, unlike the guy before you.
I remember, I started off with WWF years ago.
Most of us did.
Albano was still wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then, the NWA came on Wednesday night, and they had, like I said, World Class was just taking off,
You haven't joined the fan club yet, have you?
This was my next question. Could you give the,
Okay, for the fan, all right, for the fan club, the address for the fan club, and we'll give it also again at the end of the hour. Squared Circle Fan Club, P.O. Box 4736, Philadelphia 19134. Membership is $14.95 per person, $28.95 if you're a family. And again, the people who have joined the fan club, I think, are pretty happy with it. We just started it 3-4 months ago. It's a learning experience for us as well as it is for the people who have joined. So we're going to grow together, and we kind of expect you to be in Memphis with us.
Yeah, I wish I could go to Memphis.
You don't have a choice.
But I'll join the fan club.
We thank you, Bob.
And I hope to talk to you guys again. My name is Bob, and friends with me is RKJ if I call again. Okay?
You going to be down at Crockett tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, well, say hi to us if we're there, and Joe and Paul definitely be there. But listen, it was really nice talking to you. Maybe you can give us a call during the week, and we can.
I've been listening for the last. This is my first Friday, but like the last 2 or 3 Sundays, I've been listening.
Super. Come down to ringside. Say hello to us.
Take care.
All right, thanks,
bye-bye.
Bob. All
I
right.
enjoyed that phone call.
See, now that guy's a wrestling fan.
The
jerk that called before was his name Milt. Milt the Stilt. He don't know what the heck he's talking
Maybe
about.
his last name is Burl.
Oh, boy. All right, David from Gloucester City, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Joe, how you doing?
All righty.
I called a little while ago and tell you how much I like the NWA.
Yeah?
Question, would there be any tickets left, you think, tomorrow night if I went over?
Tickets are on sale down there. They're not sold out. The nosebleed area is still empty.
But it'll be no good seats, you think, or you don't really know?
Well, you never know till you get there, but, you should go anyway.
Okay.
There's enough people outside. There'll be something for you.
And another question was, my nephew told me, I don't know where you got this information, was that the British Bulldogs was related to Bret Hart, that he was married to his sisters or something.
Well, that guy's got the right information.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought he was a drug or somebody told me that. I couldn't believe that.
Well, join the fan club and you'll get even more information.
He does belong to the fan club.
Well, you better join.
See that? That's where he got it.
Okay.
Alrighty, thanks for calling.
All right, bye-bye.
Alrighty, sounds good. Carmela.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We're going to go into our Memphis itinerary here. So get a pencil and get a piece of paper, and here we go. Our flight will be on Northwest Orient, and we will be staying at the Sheraton for all of our events.
We're leaving Friday at 5:30. And we expect everybody to be at the airport between 4:30 and 4:45 so we can make sure that we get everybody out on time.
Yeah, well, actually, closer to 4:30 would be even better. We should be arriving in Memphis at 6:50, and we will be having a meal on board, but we'll also have a hospitality
we're going to party that night.
there.
Come on, we're going to
waiting
party.
for us.
We're all going to see Carmela party for the first time. You want to see what happens when she gets one drink of wine in it, she goes nuts and she acts like Paul.
Nah, not me. Anyway, we're going to have a motor coach pick us up.
What do you mean not like you?
I didn't say not like me. I just said not me.
What do you mean not you?
You've never seen me drink.
I've seen you drink.
When?
Oh, I don't even want to get into it.
Nah, not
Wait,
me.
All right,
You
I
wanna make people
challenge
think
you.
I'm a lush. I don't drink.
No, but when you do, you got to pick you off the floor.
Well, it depends what I drink. Depends what's in it. If it's a liqueur or if it's got some orange juice or something in it, then, that depends. See, you weren't around during my wrestling days. I used to have at least one. It was terrific.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Just one.
That's why I don't
Bet
do
you
it.
can't have more than just one.
Nope, I don't do it in public
Well, we're going to
anymore.
see Carmela get a little wrecked in Memphis. I mean, come on, that's worth the $575.
Well, I'll tell you what,
To see you loosen up and get a little wrecked is worth the $575.
Only if Jerry Lawler's there and is not going home that night. Okay? I'll think about it. Okay, but anyway, the motor coach will be picking us up at the
Boy, that's
airport.
going to be a sight to see, man. I can't wait to see that. I got to call Jerry myself. The king and queen of wrestling. Woo!
Without their audience, thank you.
Oh,
that was good, wasn't
boy,
it?
that was pretty good.
Okay. All right, we're going to be going in. You're going to keep doing. I'll just wait till you're done.
Go
okay.
ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, that takes care of the evening. The next morning, we're going to have breakfast every day, and we're going to hopefully have an appearance by a professional wrestler at every one of these breakfasts. Okay, Saturday, we'll be going to the tapings in the morning. Right after the tapings, we'll be staying there for the Jerry Lawler Show. Philadelphia's going to have the red carpet rolled out. We're going to be making all kinds of news in Memphis. We're going to be bringing it all back home with us. Once the Jerry Lawler show is over, we'll be picked up and we will be taken to Nashville, stopping for lunch along the way. We will arrive in Nashville, check in at the Sheraton. Dinner is on our own. At 7 p.m., we will depart for the wrestling show. They will pick us up between 10:30 and return to the hotel for the night. Okay.
Where we see Carmela get wrecked a second time.
Okay, August 2nd. Again, breakfast buffet. We will depart at 4 p.m. for Jackson for a wrestling show. We will be picked up between 10 and 10:30 and return to Memphis at the Sheraton again for the night.
And we see Carmela get wrecked for a third time.
Okay, August 3rd, we will have a breakfast. We will depart at 6 p.m. for the studio for the wrestling show. That will be at the Mid-South Coliseum, by the way. We'll be picked up between 10 and 10:30 p.m. and return to the hotel for the night.
And see Carmela get wrecked for the fourth and final time, because by that time it'll be boring already.
No. Anyway, we're going to be leaving the morning of August 4th. We will check out and we will go to the airport about approximately 12:45 and be leaving and coming home at approximately 3:54. And this is going to be terrific because Jerry Lawler has agreed, offered, whatever you want to call it, to not only sign our tapes, but to make Philadelphia feel as welcome as possible. And as we had said before, there are Memphis people, Memphians, who actually want to get together and spend the weekend with us. They're tickled to death that we're going down. The reception is terrific. We've been talking to Brian Trammell, who is connected with Jerry Lawler and the people out there, and John Berzachelli has been doing a great job putting all this together.
You ought to see him in shorts.
Oh, yeah, I bet he looks real nice.
Oh, boy.
Real attractive man.
Boy, I'll
too.
tell you.
Anyway, the cost is $575 per person. We're taking deposits right now, so make sure you send them in. And whatever extra money you got, you better pay it off now before you wind up spending it, and then you won't be able to go.
And let's face it now, again, on this itinerary, I think, let's be honest here, the best part...
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest for a moment.
For a moment.
All
We
right,
talk about...
The best part of this itinerary is the fact that we get to see you get drunk 4 times in a row.
I am not going to get drunk.
And the best part is having to see you get up the next morning for breakfast. That's going to be amazing. But interestingly enough, also as part of that itinerary, we have a free day in Nashville.
Yep.
We have a free day in Memphis, so you're going to get to see some sights,
Right.
have some downtime, and again, we're going to party every night, and Carmela's going to get wrecked. I can't wait.
No.
I want to see if you can cook a chicken cutlet when you're drunk.
Oh, well, you'd be surprised what I can do to chicken cutlet when I'm drunk. No,
Tell me
I don't
about it.
drink.
Wait, I want to hear more details.
I don't drink. Come on, I don't do that. You're going to make these people think I drink all night long. I don't drink.
Do you want to talk
really
about
don't
the
drink.
time in your living room where you started to drink a bottle of wine with Dominic DiNucci? You want to talk about that?
That wasn't wine. Excuse me.
What was it?
That was marsala.
I thought you don't drink.
Huh? That was just a sip. It's
The
not
only
a drink.
marsala I ever have is when you eat chicken marsala.
No, this
Okay.
is marsala from Italy. It'll knock King Kong's eyes out.
Yeah, well,
just
what
looking
did,
at the
what,
bottle.
What did it do to you?
It just made me relax a whole lot.
Oh. All right, I'll tell you what, as I'm laughing here, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back to Rasslin Radio. All right, we are back to Rasslin Radio again here. 20 minutes to go. We're in Pennsylvania. The phone number is 238-3900. In New Jersey, 541-3900. And we go to Camden. Ian, my apologies for making you wait so long. You're on Rasslin Radio.
Yeah, did you get the leather?
The what?
The leather I mailed.
Yes. Well, with more those dream tag teams or something?
I'm good at this.
Pardon me?
I'm good at this stuff.
All right, you're all right, I'll tell you.
And, I was thinking of some things the other night, and is it true, I came up with this with myself, that Rick Martel is the only person to hold a title in both the WWF and AWA?
In the WWF and AWA?
Yeah, because the WWF was the tag title, and the AWA was the world title.
Well, yeah, but you can't say that now, because there's a lot of wrestlers that have held a lot of titles in different federations.
Yeah, I was just, out of nowhere, because I saw him on the cover of a magazine, and I said, hey, I remember something.
No, you can't really say that, because there's wrestlers that have held tag team titles in one federation and U.S. titles in another federation, or that type of thing. Like the Road Warriors held the tag team titles in the AWA and the tag team titles in Japan. They have right now. So I mean, you can't really single out Rick Martel because other wrestlers have done similar things.
I don't even like Rick Martel. The guy Milton's a moron.
Well, I would tend to agree. I don't know if he's a moron because.
15 years old, and I know more about wrestling than he knows since.
Well, we put the challenge to Milton to join the fan club and test his knowledge against some of our.
Him join.
What? Hey, everybody's allowed to join, but I'll wager your bet.
What?
Bet she doesn't join.
I know that. He doesn't even belong to the WWF fan club.
The challenge is on to Milton to show his face and let us know who he is. Okay?
All right.
We thank you. All right, and Fred from Northeast Philadelphia.
How you doing, Joe?
All right, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hi, Carmela.
Hi, how you doing?
Ball there tonight?
Pardon me?
Ball there tonight?
No, he's on his way. He's flying around somewhere.
Okay, we went to last year's bash. We had a ball. We couldn't see that great. We were smart. We bought the nice tickets down by the side, and we couldn't see anything, which is really brilliant. But we had a ball at it. It was great.
So you're going to Memphis? Are you going to Memphis?
No, I can't. On a laid-off.
Oh, you got to go to Memphis.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of great videotapes around. I'm surprised you haven't talked more about the Sergeant Slaughter Monster of the Mat series. Is excellent. They have a lot of good matches on that. We rented a couple of them last weekend. There's a Japan tape out now, like Pro Wrestling from Japan. That is excellent.
Well, that tape we have for sale through Rasslin Radio. In fact, next week we're going to be running the spot for Volume 2, which just came out. And that tape is excellent. The Monster of the Mat series is excellent, too. In fact, when we first came on the air, we talked about all the wrestling tapes that were out. And, as they come out, we try to keep on top of them and watch them and let people know if they're any good or not.
Yeah, there's another one. Now, I probably got the title wrong, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Wrestling Queens, is it? Or
Wrestling Queen.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very, very good wrestling tape. It has a lot of the lady wrestlers from years back and a lot of different things that, you don't see today as well. A lot of those tapes are very good. Yes, they are. But, a lot of the times to go back and name every one of them would just be futile. But as they come out, the newer ones, we try and keep up on them as we go along.
And I got news for you. If you look at the companies that make the tapes, it usually gives you a hint as to the quality. Independent Media Marketing, which obviously we're doing some promotion with in terms of the Memphis trip, has put out Lords of the Ring, which was an excellent tape, has put out other tapes that have been dynamite, and just based on their reputation, the Jerry Lawler Hair versus Hair match, which, by the way, again, is going to go out Tuesday to those who have ordered it, it's going to be dynamite. You ought to order that tape.
I have to agree with you. We saw WrestleMania 3 last week also. We just rented tapes last week. Everybody was sick. We all rented wrestling tapes. I have to agree with you. The WWF WrestleMania 3, it was good. We were very, very surprised. The matches, as they had it, I have to quote them, they said all those matches would be main event status. I have to agree with them on that.
Well, I don't think that they were all main event status, but they were exciting. It was a good show, and we give them all the credit in the world for it.
And we have our own idea for the bash.
Go ahead.
The match within. Chris
Okay.
Adams versus Ken Patera in a cage match with Sean Penn as guest referee.
Oh, jeez. How about that? That's a nice matchup.
With Madonna singing the national anthem.
Yeah, I don't think she'll know the words.
You got super. Well, thanks for calling.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care. All right, we'll take one more call in Wilmington. Tom.
Hey, Don. Hey, John. This is the Beast.
Hey, Beast, what's happening?
All right, how you doing?
Okay.
What's up?
I want to talk about the Road Warriors. Road Warriors are back now.
Yes.
And in fact, I talked to Hawk, gave me a call last night.
I don't want to hear another thing until I hear you tell me that you told the Road Warriors I said that they better come to our house for dinner.
Joe, have you seen the new outfits they have?
Which one? Are you talking about the ones from Baltimore?
No, they have new ones now. They have the ones, they're like shoulder pads.
No. I heard about them, but I've not seen them.
Yeah, they have big spikes on them too. They look pretty awesome.
Well, I'll tell you something. They're an awesome tag team, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in a lot of the bashes. I think it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Well, forget all that. Did you ask him?
I told him I told Hawk what you said.
If he said something nasty, don't say it on the air, okay?
He doesn't say Hawk does not. Very nice gentleman.
Oh, okay. So what did he say?
He said he'd be his pleasure, and he'll talk to Animal. And he said you better, if you're going to cook your chicken, make sure it's about 10 to 20 pounds.
That's
no
it.
problem.
Chicken cutlets, here we come. Hey, Beast, we thank you for calling.
Okay, buddy.
See you tomorrow night.
Okay, then.
All right, and now at 7:45, we're going to go into the Wrestler of the Week, which we started to do a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now back on Friday nights, Wrestler of the Week.
Yeah, we're going to try and get it in every Friday night, and of course, due to the Memphis thing, it's going to be the Jerry the King Lawler tonight. But our time just wasn't working out with it before. But anyway, Jerry Lawler, his hometown is in Memphis, Tennessee. And he has had other ring names, well, only one really, called Hawaiian Flash. One of the leading regional superstars for the past 15 years, has headlined more huge crowds in Memphis than probably any entertainer in history. Extremely talented man who is a good artist and a television talk show personality in Memphis. He has been on top in Memphis for most of the past 15 years. He attended Memphis State University on an art scholarship, and after graduation was working as a disc jockey for a radio station. Haha, never know, maybe we'll be professional wrestlers someday. Met some wrestlers.
You and me in a ring.
Oh, my God. He met some wrestlers and got into the Met game in 1971.
Paul will be the referee.
Now, Paul, you know what Paul do?
What?
He'll stand in the corner eating and say, beat her up, I don't care. Okay, he's part owner of Warrior Sports along with Jerry Jarrett, one of the most recognizable personalities in the state of Tennessee. The wrestling show in Memphis gets a 20 rating and a 60 share, making it not only the most popular wrestling show in the country, but one of the most popular TV shows of any kind anywhere in the country. As a Memphis legend has, at one time or another, defeated every big-name star in the business with few exceptions. He held several regional versions, of the world title. He was never able to establish himself as a major draw outside his home circuit. He's best known outside wrestling circles for his feud with the late TV comedian Andy Kaufman. The two had several matches and even a confrontation on NBC TV's David Letterman show.
That was dynamite.
It was. We have that on tape. That was great.
Dynamite.
I like the way he just sat there, and like Andy Kaufman's going crazy, and Jerry Lawler's just giving him his dirty look. Anyway, Lawler's probably deserves the credit or blame for being the first person to involve entertainment personalities in wrestling. And in 1973, if I'm not mistaken, he did the very first wrestling video called Bad News, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, it's hard to...
What year was that?
1973, I think.
If you're not mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay. It's hard to... Of course, if I'm mistaken, I'm sure somebody will tell me.
It was obviously a year either prior to or after 1973.
Probably. No doubt about it. Actually, it was yesterday.
I'm for sure correct. See.
Okay.
If it wasn't 73, it was 72 or before, or 74 or after.
Or later. Very good, Joel.
Amazing.
It's hard to categorize Lawler's work. He's not a great wrestler. Well, I don't agree with that. But some aspects of being a pro, he is excellent at. He's not the greatest athlete. Well, I don't agree with that either. However, he sells well. He takes strong bumps and understands how to work a crowd. That's true. I understand. Everybody loves him out there. He's been able to establish himself as a power puncher who outslugs men much larger than himself and gets him over in brawls. He pulls down the strap of his ring outfit.
Dynamite.
I love that. When he gets real mad, it's like Popeye having swallowed his spinach, and there's no stopping him. He's beaten up, he's bleeding all over the place, and all of a sudden he just jumps up and down and pulls the strap down. The whole crowd, I mean the whole arena, even on the tape, goes crazy. It's incredible. I get all excited going, oh, la, he's going to do it. And, and Paul's sleeping on the floor.
You want to see how excited she gets when she gets drunk.
Could care less. No, and I can't do anything.
4 nights in Memphis, you're going to see her get blasted.
Okay, one of the all-time greats on interviews, either as a good guy or a bad guy. We have a tape at home where when he was a bad guy, good Lord, he did some incredible things that I never thought anybody would do.
Bad Lord, not good Lord. If
No.
he's a bad guy, it's bad Lord.
No, Lord is always good. Very creative booker as well. He's responsible for many of today's wrestlers getting their big money gimmicks, such as Rock and Roll Express and Carmela. He has been involved in some of the wildest and most memorable matches in ring history. He may retire from wrestling within a few years. Well, I don't believe that. I think Jerry Lawler will be around for a long, long time. And, Jerry, that one was for you, and hopefully you'll get a copy of this tape as well. And anybody who wants to come down and see our radio show, by the way, we're located at 2nd and Pine. Please come down and see us. We'd love to see you. We've got a whole bunch of people. Let's hear you scream out there, everybody, real loud. Oh, okay. Not loud enough. But anyway, come down and see us. We're at 2nd and Pine, right around where the Camp Pie is and where McDougal's was.
Right, I'll tell you something. Sunday, well, this whole weekend at Penn's Landing, We the Philadelphia, or We the People 200 is having a rock-a-rama with all kinds of oldies, so why don't you come on down there, but before you get there, stop by the radio show
That's right.
and watch Rasslin Radio.
And not only that, you get to meet the infamous Dennis.
Oh, God. It's enough to make you want to, well.
Go to Penn's Landing.
All right, and we go to Jonathan from Logan.
Hello, I would like to know if Precious Paul Ellering has a son named Precious Paul Ellering Jr.
Well, I don't know that it would be Precious, but
If anybody has a son, if there's a person on this earth with the name of Precious Paul Ellery Jr., it's got to be his kid.
Yeah, right. There's no mistaking him for anybody else. We don't know that, but it's quite possible, of course.
Oh, and, well, okay.
It's one of these intelligent conversations. We thank you, Jonathan.
Yes.
All right. Brian from North Philly, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Hey.
I would like to know, between Animal and Hawk, if they ever had a match together, between each other, who would win?
The fans.
That's a tough question because Animal's working on being a power lifter, which gives him an enormous amount of strength. Hawk, however, I think has more of the agility of being taller. But I don't know. I really would have to go with Animal.
I'm going to have to go with Hawk.
Oh, yeah, and I'd like to know, after the...
He could care less. Ged, what?
Do you have an opinion?
After the bash...
Guess not.
In my opinion, I think Animal is the experienced one between both.
Okay.
And I'd like to know, after the bash, will the Road Warriors get a chance against the Rock and Roll Express if they had the belt?
Anything can happen.
Anything happen?
Anything's possible. That'd be a heck of a match, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'd like to know, will Jim Clark ever bring out a tape about the Road Warriors, their greatest matches?
There is a tape out about the Road Warriors. It's a short tape, but there is definitely... Actually, there's more than one tape out about the Road Warriors.
It's put out by the AWA.
Yes, you may want to look into that.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to try to clear the board here before we have to go. Trevos, you're Andrew.
Yeah, hi, what's up?
All right, taxes and blood pressure. What's up with you?
Nothing much, but I'd like to make two comments. On the World Pro Wrestling from Japan, the tape 2.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the matches that are on there?
Yeah, I have a list of it. Believe it or not, I have it home because we're going to talk about it on Sunday, but it will be available cheaper than anywhere right here on Rasslin Radio.
Yeah, because my dad and me are putting in cabinets at a video store in New Jersey, and the tape was right there, and it's got some great matches on it.
I'll tell you, it's got some awesome matches. I understand it's almost 2 hours long also.
Yeah, the highlight of the Steve Williams and the Barbarian picks Steve Williams up and body slams him.
Super.
Good.
Super. We'll have more information on that Sunday.
Okay, one other thing. Do you have any way that I could get in touch with Freddie Blassie?
Not that we can tell you on the air right now. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to get in touch with him. He may be going back to Titan anyway, so you can get in touch with him through Titan.
Yeah, write a letter to Titan Sports. Their address is in their wrestling magazine.
I tried that already. I was hoping you would help me a little bit more, but...
Well, we may be able to off of the air, but Titan not cooperating certainly does not surprise me.
Okay, well, thanks anyway.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, and we go to West Philadelphia, and John, you're on Rasslin Radio.
Hello, Joe. Hello, Carmela.
Hi.
Listen.
What?
I'm surprised how many listeners haven't seen the WrestleMania 3 tape already. It surprised me tonight. Listen, on the WrestleMania 3, the tapes have been just released. Is the Craig DeGeorge countdown on it?
I don't know.
Say that again?
It's the Craig DeGeorge countdown. Do you remember the day of WrestleMania?
Yeah.
You remember the countdown?
No, I don't.
Well, on my tape, I got the 30-minute countdown. It was pretty good. Very
All right,
good.
I don't know what's on it. I haven't seen the tape other than I know that it's the full show on the tape, and unlike Crockett, who gives you bits and pieces of what he thinks are the best parts of a match, they show you the whole match.
All right, see, like they went through skits of WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania 2, and then they went through the Piper thing with the flower shop.
I suspected it's not on there, but we don't know for sure.
When you were talking to that moron that thinks he knows everything, right?
Milt.
Why didn't you bring up the fact about Garvin? I think out of anybody to beat Andre, that Garvin was the most impressive.
All right. Yeah, well,
Tape, and that match only lasted about 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know if Andre ran out of gas, but...
That's not hard.
Violated.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, when you get in a heated conversation like that, all the things that you try to remember, it's like when you're doing jokes, you know 100 of them, but you can't even think of one. And when you're heated like that and talking, I was trying to remember who all the 11 guys were, and I kind of drew a blank after those 3 or 4.
You know what's amazing?
What's that?
How much information Milt doesn't know.
Oh, he don't know nothing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
True WWF fan.
Can you picture when he and his friends get together and they talk about wrestling,
Oh, well, no. Well,
and they think they're talking about it?
I think he made a jackass out of himself when he started talking about the two commentators on the U.S. Monday night telecast.
Yeah.
That monsoon is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell he's paid to say. Everything comes out of his mouth is all pro Vince McMahon.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something. If somebody's going to determine whether they are a good wrestling fan or a true wrestling fan or not, certainly the place to start is not with the commentators. and besides that, the thing that annoyed me was he felt as though he could put himself above all of our listeners, including our fan club people, when he hasn't even seen what goes on at any of our events. And I think that wasn't fair at all.
I think that's a typical mentality of a WWF fan, bar none.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, sure.
We thank you for calling, John.
All right.
Take care. And we'll go to our last caller for this evening of Rasslin Radio, and we go to, again, staying in West Philly, James.
Yo, Joe.
Hey.
Hey, Carmela.
Hey, James.
How you doing?
All right, what's up?
I want to apologize to Mark from Cherry Hill.
Why?
I called him a geek, but that guy Milton not only takes the cake, but the whole bakery.
Okay.
I tell you, he doesn't know anything. Has he had breakfast with Lex Luger?
No, James, let me tell you, to quote Gorilla Monsoon, he doesn't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch.
Yeah,
I'm getting so tired of hearing that. That's the only cliche he knows.
He's probably one of those clowns literally hanging from the rafters. I tell you, he doesn't know anything. I mean, he calls up, he's pro WWF, he puts down your radio show. I mean, what does he know? If he's listened to it for as long as he supposedly has, he would know that you ripped the lid off of wrestling. I'll give you this, Joel, even more than the wrestling magazines, okay?
There you go. But not only that, he insulted the fans without even knowing any of the fans and without having any basis for the fact that he feels he's the best wrestling fan around.
The first time I met any of the other fans, members of the fan club, whatever, was on the Baltimore trip.
Right.
All of them, each and every one of them, from the youngest one to the oldest one, knows more about wrestling than this clown. Even those little itty-bitty tiny guys from the DC Drake fan club know more than that clown does.
I got news for you. I think Celeste knows more.
Hey, James.
I don't doubt it.
Hey, James, we thank you for calling.
All right, give it to you later.
Take care. See you tomorrow night. All righty. And again, you're listening to Rasslin Radio, the only professional radio talk show on professional wrestling in the country. And again, we've got the trip coming up to Memphis. We have the Bash coming up in Philadelphia start on July 25th, a Saturday evening. And if you want to give us a call regarding the Bash, the phone numbers during the week, 671-9712 and 745-8315. And our address to join the fan club, to write us letters to let Milton know how much he doesn't know. The Squared Circle Fan Club, P.O. Box 4736, Philadelphia 19134.
That's right, and don't forget we're going to have a free Memphis video party. We need you to call us. We need to know if you'd rather do it on a weeknight or you'd rather do it on a Sunday. We also need you to call us and let us know who's really serious about going to Memphis. Only those will be invited. Fan club member or non, you can still go if you're definitely going to go to Memphis. The price is $575. We went through the itinerary. We're going to be staying at all the Sheratons, the best hotels around. Please, make sure you don't miss this one. This is going to be great. From the 31st of July until the 4th of August. Call us and let us know what's going on with this with the video party. We're really going to have a good time with it. We're going to show you things that you've never seen before, and you'll get to see what Memphis wrestling is all about. So please get in touch with us at the numbers that Joel gave out earlier. Let us know what's going on. And also, look in your mailboxes for a mailing that's going to be going out tomorrow at the very latest Monday in regard to the Memphis trip, the fan club, the Bash, everything that we have coming up. It's like our first big letter to the fan club people. Join the fan club if you're not a fan club member. And also, any of you who have just joined, like Brian Morgan, I know I have to announce that, please make sure that you be a little bit patient with us. As soon as we get to it, your kits will go out, but you are a bona fide member.
That's right, and I'll tell you something. Also, before I tell you something, why don't we talk a little bit about the T-shirts. Tomorrow night, for those of you who are going to the NWA show in Philadelphia at the Civic Center, don't buy your T-shirts there because we've got them with Crockett Promotions, and you can buy the T-shirts through us at a discount. So if you see something you like, let us know about it. We'll get it for you. Right now, we have in stock the Road Warrior T-shirts, Nikita Koloff's T-shirt, the Four Horsemen T-shirt, and the Slick Rick T-shirt on sale to the fan club members for $13.50, which is 10% off the $15 price. If you're interested, just send us a check as Steve Link did this week, and Squared Circle, P.O. Box 4736, Philadelphia 19134, and we'll make sure that the T-shirts get out to you. We've got 45 seconds.
Okay, and don't forget we have the Mayhem in Memphis tape, and we're going to be putting out part 2 of the Japanese tape, so make sure you listen on Sunday. Good old Dennis will be here. Come down and watch it.
That's right. And again, the Memphis tapes are being shipped Tuesday. You'll have it by next Friday night show. And you're listening to the only R&R that really counts in this world, Rasslin Radio on WDVT Philadelphia.
WDVT at 900 on the AM dial, owned and operated by Masada Corporation, now leaves the air until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Good evening.